Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Very warm welcome to each one of you today. Another evening edition of the Uncommon Leader. And thank God, yesterday was Onam. It's a good celebration. The good thing means put the thing tomorrow evening because I think some band and all. But I think it keeps you busy. If something doesn't happen, then we lose the interest actually. We do a biggest competition for the student convention. We plan it almost 6 months in advance. Get connected to all the schools and college, all the colleges, MBA students. They prepare so well. Some 80 teams participate. Then this band is there tomorrow, and people ask, "What will you do?" I mean, guys are prepared so much. Once you miss the bus, getting the youngsters is so difficult. So we all took a thing. We'll go ahead. That we'll conduct the competition as scheduled. If somebody is getting stuck, some student, we'll vehicle send them and pick them up. But everybody agreed, no, sir, we'll come. Because I think we have to carry on. We can't keep, if you keep adjusting yourself to the needs or the demands of what's happening around you, I think it's really affecting us. That way, we must compliment each one of you that the Banda, no Banda. I know when we had a biggest cyclone, we had a full house in MMA event that day. So that shows the interest of the thing. Yes, coming back, I think before I call upon the speaker and AVIS onto the stage, let me briefly tell you what all the events we planned in September. September, all the three events, evening talks are over, innovation and two more. But workshops, we got quite a number of them. And as I mentioned, 16th, tomorrow, we have the competition for the quiz as well as the debate. If somebody is interested, you must walk in and see the youngsters, the way they show their debating skill. Very, very nice to see the people, they prepare so much and come and speak because they want to really bring laurel to their institutions. Very nice. Yeah, it's all open to members. And also on the 24th, we have the competition on the business plan as well as paper presentation competition. The 16th and 17th, we have a 4-day certificate course on neuro-linguistic program. The knowledge partner Zeal is again a very interesting event. On 17th, we have a workshop on empowering secretaries. We do this quite a bit and very popular MMA event. Quite a number of people come and attend from the secretarial practice who want to get their knowledge enhanced in that area. Then we have 2-day certificate course on Factories Act and Contract Labor Law. It's again very good one. In fact, there is an event which is happening tomorrow is on Maruti Suzuki. One of the general manager got killed in one of the industrial relation issues. So there is a seminar which is happening at National NHRD doing in Chennai to see how this thing situation can be avoided actually. How one can smartly do that. One should not be daredevil. If I'm an armed forces guy and you tell him what Kashmiri or what Pakistani will go and stand, you will get killed only. So better to it's better to always protect yourself and should do it with your heart rather than with your brain actually at times. On the 30th September, we have a 2-day workshop on effective team building and leadership skills. It's done in Chennai. Again, it's a very good event. So similarly, October, we have a workshop on supervisory skills and telephonic etiquette on popular demand, certificate course on. And besides that, we also want to tell you, we are also contemplating with large, good institutions like Entrepreneur Development Institute in Ahmedabad, some institute in New Delhi, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. We are trying to bring in some phenomenal, excellent courses for our MMA members, and I think it should fructify very soon. But actually, it should be there when you see the new building, because we don't know when you are going to see the new building, but we'll surely see one day actually. Because today I spent quite a bit of hours in CMD. I got the file moved from place to place and got it approved. Quite interesting. I know how many of you dealt with CMDA. It's personally very interesting organization. So you must do that. It's a great experience. It really teaches you what is patience and perseverance and what to do that. Because that's really required. That's very interesting. Then October is done, and we also have the talks for October. Just to remind you, Tuesday the 4th October, we got the Uncommon Leader. The author is Ayusha Rao. Brilliant, you must say. Playwright, producer, managing editor, and Avis is going to curate the same one. And this is a very interesting program. Don't miss it and tell your friends not to miss it. Friday, the 21st October, Crisis Management, the MAG issue. Mr. Suresh Narayanan is the chairman and managing director of Nestle. He is going to come and speak because this is very, very interesting how Nestle turned around with a short period in spite of the whole world is against them, and how brought in back the noodle, which is still takes a pride of place and already got about 60% market share. Then the success story of it was done. Santosh Desai, this is happening on 3rd November. And Santosh Desai is the senior IAS officer, chairman and managing director of Tamil Nadu Handicraft Development. He's also OSD, officer on special duty in CM special sale. so that we'll also get his success story. We also said what's happening in special school, what is success. I mean, my interest is to people should know there are avenues, there are methods where you try and do that. Maybe it can solve some of the issues. And he's also going to talk on success story of how he has turned around a government organization. Besides that, this person has done some brilliant work in rural, turned around banks, turned around rural village panchayat's office. He's a good, brilliant IAS officer. So I thought it's worth listening to him. You will learn a lot that our bureaucrats can really contribute significantly. Again, on the November 8th, Uncommon Leader, Extraordinary Lessons from Exceptional People. We'll send you the thing and just block your diary. Again, December we got two events. One is on the 15th of December, the Thursday, the legacy of Srinivasa Ramanujam and Professor Krishnaswamy Alladi. Is Alladi's son, grandson. He's going to speak, and he's one of the renowned mathematician, done quite a bit of research work on Alladi, Srinivasa Ramanujam. Then again on the 14th December, we got Uncommon Leader, Extraordinary Lessons, Exceptional People. So these all, till December, you are chock-a-block with the events. In between something happens, we'll keep doing, and so that we'll keep you busy. All these programs are webcast live on radio. Coming to today's event, the Uncommon Leader, Extraordinary Lessons from Exceptional People, and the distinguished speaker for this day is Mr. Chandrasekaran, we call a.k.a. Chandra. He's a serial innovator, social entrepreneur, founder, and done phenomenal work. I saw his profile. Is so interesting. When you look at it itself, you know, I was wanting to look at him because so impressive. I know what he's going to share. When I saw him, he said he just landed to London. I had a conference, and he was so cheerful. He shows, you know, I mean, nothing, no jet lag, nothing affected. I think maybe if you do a social work, you work hard, you are innovator, I don't think nothing will affect you actually. You will be always cheerful. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hand together to welcome Mr. Chandra and chairman and moderator and curator, AVIS. May I request Chandra sir, please come onto the stage, and AVIS, please. Yeah. Does he look, his travel from London, landed just a while ago and coming from there? That is what it is. If you work hard, do a lot of good work to the society, you're going to listen from him. I don't want to really take how he's going to bring out the best. It's so inspiring. Each one of you will really turn around and see that what we have done and emulate somebody like this, and I think it will do a lot of good to the society, a lot of good to you, a lot of good to the members of MMA. Let me have the privilege of introduce AVIS. You know, he will say you all don't know him, but it's always nice for me to do something which I like to do. That is, AVIS is age is 48 only, for the last 6 months same. I think when next birthday will turn around. Life coach, inspired speaker, happiness curator, author, organizational transformational consultant, who lead change management, culture, leadership, development, mandate. And he does some phenomenal work. He just come out from doing a full day workshop. So since he's taken a commitment, he's not let us down. He said, no, I'll be there 5 minutes to 6. He was there 10 minutes to 6. Thanks, Aviz. Always, I think we must learn from you how to manage your time and stand up to your commitment. And I deal with a lot of people in MMA in terms of speakers, organizing events, programs, and so we keep following it up. Here is the person you will follow up with MMA. What happened? You not send this mail. This is a curator, because it's something outstanding. It indicates the intricacies of the personality of the individual. That anything he takes, he's so meticulous in following it up with MMA. And I used to take, let me beat up one step ahead. I think all the time I got only defeated. He is beaten all the time. I think Aviz, that is your fantastic quality. What you Aviz to take you through and showcase the uncommon leader who is here today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your sentiments. Thank you. Thank you, Chandra, for literally flying in this morning and joining us today. I think it's a marathon that he's been running. So I want, on behalf of all of you, I want to thank him for being here with us today. So can we give him a big round of applause? Okay. We'll discover soon what took him to London and what was the nature of his engagement there, and my heartfelt gratitude to you, Chandra, for keeping the date with me over here. Let's make it a very exciting conversation. But I want to answer this question that somebody asked me, and I think Vijay also mentioned that briefly. So how do you manage your time? Somebody asked me this question, and I'm sure Chandra will agree with me. We all live with multiple schedules pulling us in different directions. I don't think there is a right answer or a wrong answer to managing your time, but my answer is very simple. I value my time. And it is an extremely finite resource. We think it's infinite, but it is an extremely finite resource. Our lives are ticking away as we speak, and so to live it qualitatively, the one thing that we have to keep reminding ourselves is that life is a limited period offer, and this time will expire very soon. If you value your time, then you will pack in the punch to make it more meaningful. This doesn't mean that we'll cramp our schedule so much that we are running from pillar to post. That is part of running the rat race. But I think qualitatively, if you can spend time meaningfully doing great stuff that gives you great joy, I think it's much of the battle won with time. That's the way I see it. And what gives me the greatest joy is to be in conversation with people like Chandra. So Chandra, welcome here, and thanks for joining us. It's awesome to have you here. When I look at Chandra, I've met him only all of 2 times so far. Okay, we've spoken a few times over the phone. I think he packs a punch. He's a pocket-sized dynamo, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why he packs a punch. There is a beautiful English word called purpose, and purpose really takes us to the reason for our creation. If you deeply understand why you have been created on this planet, there is a design, there is a purpose behind it. We may not see it as apparent, because why? Because we are always struggling with earning a living. But if you remove the earning part of it and focus on the living, you'll suddenly find that life has more meaning. And somebody like Chandra reminds us. When I sat with him at Starbucks coffee with Vani and asked him, sir, எதுக்காக சார் நீங்கள் செய்கிறதெல்லாம் நீங்கள் செய்கிறீங்க, why are you doing this? And he said, I like to solve unsolved problems. And that is his deeper sense of purpose. And later on in the conversation, he talked about another angle to it, another dimension to it, which is, I create value for social good. And I think between these 2 statements, we can understand the personality of this very, very exciting man called Chandrasekaran. We love to call you Chandra. Okay?
I'm a bit shivering, not for the AC, but for the flattery. I seldom like that, because I like people who talk face to face. Luckily, I don't have enemies, because I love to build up friends. I swear I don't have enemies, because even at controversial situations and places, I have worked in companies handling 200 workers, 300 workers sort of, without knowing Hindi, landing up with a job in Maharashtra, the typical Mathadi workers who are well built and tall and much better than me in terms of size and valor. So that was a challenge which was thrown to me the very first day. The Hindi வேணான்னு சொல்கிறாங்கல்ல, அவங்களெல்லாம் ஆந்திரா பார்டர் தாண்டி போக சொல்லணும் ட்ரெயினில். சோத்துக்கு வழி இல்லாமல் நான் அப்படி தான் போனேன். ஏன்னா எங்கள் வீட்டில் கொடுத்தது 50 ரூபா. ஆந்திரா தாண்டதுக்குள்ளேயே சாப்பிட்டு அது சரியாக போயிடுது. ஸோ த டே ஐ லேண்டட் இன் பாம்பே, ஐ வாஸ் penniless. But one good thing, okay, there was a job. So the next day I went there, I got a token which gives me food for the next 1 month, the company token, food token. And the salary was 2,000 rupees. And 1,800 I had committed myself. Nobody asked me, but I have committed myself because of my family circumstances to send back 1,800 rupees. I was so innocent not to know that PF and other frills will be cut off. ஸோ அது ஏதோ குறைச்சிட்டு கம்மியாகிறதோடனே தர்மி மாதிரி அது எவ்வளோ இருக்கோ அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி குறைச்சி கொடுங்கன்னு, ஏன் எவ்வளோ கட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னு போய் கேட்டேன் to the HR manager. Then he explained me all these are system. So I was so that innocent, and that threw me challenges. Every day was a challenge. Seeing a 1 rupee coin and drinking water for the whole week, putting that coin back into my pocket so that my next month will come, the next packet of tokens will come. ஸோ அதை தாண்டதுக்கு அந்த ஒரு ரூபா காயின் வாஸ் அ கிரேட் இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன். அதை பார்த்தோன்னே எங்கிட்டையும் பணம் இருக்குது, typical Sarvasundara Nagesh Mari, but I loved those days. Actually, that was the day when I realized how we value money. Till date, I value money. I don't have any frills, I don't have a car, I go by my bike and things like that. So, if we take our life seriously, as I think he has answered almost everything. Rather, I should listen to AVIS a lot.
No. I think
he said a good thing, like, there has been some design for what you have been put onto this game. It's a game. Challenges. Somebody throws you out. Who is that somebody? You can call it Almighty, you can call it that Supreme, whatever. People, unbelievers can say they don't unbelieve because there is something to believe. Then only the question of unbelievement will come, right? So those days were too young for me to understand the larger aspects of life. But being an artist, I'm an artist, I'm a sportsman, because everywhere, again, situation took me to that situation. Why? Because I was the fifth child in my family and was born stillborn. Not born, you can say stillborn. The doctor discarded me. The nurse saw me wriggling in a corner of a wash basin, took me back and said, there is some life in this child, I believe. And I was a 7th month child. So literally no chances. ஸோ வெக்கலை வச்சு நல்லா சுற்றி நல்லா தேய்ச்ச உடனே உசுறு வந்துடுது. ஸோ தட் டே, ஸோ ஐ ஸ்டில் பிலீவ், வென் ஐ வாஸ் டோல்ட் தி ஸ்டோரி பை மை மதர், ஐ பிலீவ்ட் there is a larger aspect in life. Now I understand. Now having crossed the age of 40, now I understand. So there is some role for you to play in this society, and that made me go further.
Beautiful, beautiful, great story there. I didn't know this. Thank you for sharing this. I think if I have to introduce him, so he gave a brief introduction to his perspective to life and how much he values the life that he has got. I think that's very, very interesting. But if I have to introduce him, he's a plastics engineer from CIPET. He spent a fair amount of time in the corporate sector, and when he decided to quit the corporate sector in 2008, he had two opportunities in front of him, two passions of him. One is heritage conservation, so you'll hear a bit of that, and the second one was to innovate, to try and do stuff which had not been done before, which is solve unsolved problems. So in the course of trying to take forward his two passions, he founded an organization called Computer Parts Online? Custom Part Online. Custom Part Online was basically an ideas to market platform where he invited fellow innovators to come and take ideas, build them into prototypes and take them to market. And one of your first ideas was a feeding bottle. I was a bit amazed to read about that. So you had a feeding bottle which was a 100% recyclable feeding bottle. So I have two questions there. We'll go to reach in a little bit, but with Custom Parts, when you set it up and you came up with the idea of the feeding bottle, you had a feeding bottle that was 100% recyclable, and then you had like a 10,000 piece order. Tell us a little bit about that journey and what was so unique about that feeding bottle?
Okay. Having worked in corporates, doing a lot of innovations and products without knowing what IP is and what the value is, we just work dedicatedly because I get a salary. I should do 100% job for worth the salary. So this was the only mantra, because that money runs the family. So doing this down the line, I understood what are my strengths and weaknesses. Weaknesses, yes, I can't talk money, I can't bargain, I can get a better price for that stuff, but I know I can create. Because the artist in me was always happy doing that creation, and the engineer in me, that materials man in me was also happy. So what makes me happy than the salary or the job or the profession, anything like that, is that creativity. So I got this up, and wherever I go, the situation was very amazing. There are a lot of designers, there are a lot of ideas, but nothing comes to practice. For statistics purpose, let me tell you, IIT has 97% of the people abroad. More than 20,000 patents have been published in the name of IITians and IIT alumni, IISc and all those people. Hardly one or two have come out as a product for the common use. So these are all very disturbing. So such a brilliant brains funded by the government, not useful for the government. So how do we tackle it? So neither I can go to the IIT because I am not that worth. But one thing really was wriggling my mind is, how do we bridge the gap? Luckily, I had an opportunity from a company called e-machineshop.com. So .com thing was very up there that time. I also ran a factory. I ended up with losses. In fact, in that factory, I was the first guy to build up bulletproof roofs, skylights, things like that, and a sheet metal factory, madri plastic factory. You make a product, you order a product, I can tailor make it. But I was a big failure, not understanding the various aspects of business. ஓகே, பிஸ்னஸ்னால் என்னன்னு தெரியாது, பணம் எப்படி போய் வாங்குறது, மார்வாடி மாதிரி கழுத்தில் துண்டு போட்டு வாங்குறது தெரியாது. எக்ஸைட்மெண்ட்டில் ப்ராடக்ட் பண்ணிவிடுவோம், போய் அந்த ரூஃபை மாட்டிடுவோம். வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன்? ஐ கேனாட் புல் பேக் தட் ரூஃப். because that is fit in big companies like L&T, Hindustan Lever, you name all the big companies. I was in Baroda, all the big companies, and they literally cheat. Why? Because I am a small vendor, micro or tiny or something like that. We don't have the guts to go and ask why my payment is pending. I don't have the guts, frankly speaking. And I learned a lot from the Marwadi Gujarati friends. What is business? What is money management? That day I knew my strength is not money management, but still I can be a creator. So what is the best answer? Let me give opportunity for the people who can't bridge that gap. So a brilliant idea, come to me. I will do the sketching, I will take it to the 2D, 3D, the prototyping part and all those things. So the e-machine shop opportunity came out of blue. Again I said it is God's son. நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி there is a master planner working more than you. இப்போ நீங்கள் 20 மணி நேரம் ஒர்க் பண்ணிங்கன்னா ஒரு 24 மணி நேரம் உங்களுக்காக ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டுருக்காரு. So when I lost this factory, and that factory, it was a very bizarre incident, I should declare, hardly there was a loan of 3.5 lakh rupees for Bank of Majura. It was taken over by ICICI Bank that time in 2000, and my brother had just flown down to India from London. He is a chartered accountant, practice in London. அவர் கல்யாணத்துக்கு மொதல் நாள் எனக்கு வந்து நோட்டீஸ் வருது. He was so pissed off, saying that, Chandra, what is this happening? He knew the whole story. I am struggling, doing great products. Today,
this struggle was going on with computer parts online?
Custom
parts online?
I am coming to that. It's a company what I started for plastic fabrication.
Excuse me one second. The question I had was on the recyclable.
Yeah, I am coming to that.
Milk bottle. Okay, that is the question that I had.
No, I am coming to that. So, okay, to cut short, what happened? I know there is a problem, but it was solved in one day. What he had for his marriage, he just threw on the bank's face. My elder sister is the first engineer from Malappa University. She is my eldest sister. She took her golden chain and threw on the manager's face. Said, you take all this. Just relieve my brother. So that day I took a vow not to take a bank loan ever, number one. Run a company with my own money. Mahanadi Kamalasan சொல்ற மாதிரி OPM, own personal money. யாரதையும் எடுத்துக்க கூடாது. Number 2, and then I'll make it a success again. One day God will give me another opportunity to show that I'm a success. So the moon had driven me so crazy, but luckily again that helping hand stretched out, like Maradona's golden hand. One company called E-Machine Shop just called up. He saw my profile and my manufacturing abilities and gave me an opportunity to build products in India and send to US. Only label மாற்றுவாங்க, made in US குத்துவாங்க, customer கொடுத்துருவாங்க. The orders are placed online. We were doing 500 orders a month, which gave me an opportunity to learn about all the processes mostly available in the country today. The pioneering processes, the most toughest machines, the most toughest process, everything, which made me, அதில் என்ன ப்ராப்ளம்னா, that software has to be understood by the buyer to run that and download the software, do the design and then place an order. So I want to make it simpler. You can even do a hand sketch. Send me your query or even a love letter saying that this is the product I have in my brain. I want to get the product done. So was started this custom parts online, and the very first order I got, what a love letter again. A lady from US, she runs a small baby mall. She sent me a letter saying that today's the bottles are made up of polycarbonate, which is carcinogenic. Unfortunately, Indian hospitals are still using polycarbonate bottles, which are carcinogenic. So she sent me a letter saying that I want a bottle which can be disposed, which can be small and sleek as ever. I can carry it in my handbag, which a foster parent or a mother who can't feed can use it. And ஒரு ஃபைனல் ஒரு கிளைமேக்ஸ், ஒரு நல்ல சென்டென்ஸ், it should look like a breast, but don't make it look vulgar. ஃபண்டாஸ்டிக். அந்த லெட்டர் எனக்கு மனப்பாடமாக தெரியும். ஏன் தெரியுமா? ஐ ஸ்டார்டட் கோயிங் த்ரூ தட். அதை மல்ச் பண்ணி என்ன இப்படி ஒரு லெட்டர் எழுதியிருக்காங்க. எப்படியோ பாருங்கள், அவ்வளோ நெட்டு உலகத்தில் என்னோடய இமெயிலை பார்த்து, என்னோடய கஸ்டம் பார்ட்ஸ் ஆன்லைனை பார்த்து எனக்கு வரணும் அப்படின்னா அகெயின் தட் கோல்டன் ஹேண்ட். ஸோ தட் கேவ் மீ தட் கிரேஸ். ஒரு வாரம் தூங்காமல் இருந்தால் அப்புறம் சடன்லி ஐ சா சில்ட்ரன் பிளேயிங் வித் மிக்கி மவுஸ். அந்த மூஞ்சி எடுத்துட்டேன். ஸோ தட் நோஸ் பிகேம் த நிப்பிள். A flat feeding bottle was born out of milk pouch again. Milk pouch is flexible. I made a rigid one, combining 5 processes together, made a sample. I didn't ask her any money. I spent almost 30,000-40,000, I blew it. All hard and money, konjam da irundha bank balance, ellam blow panna. I know, I am confident on doing that. Send the product out. She counter-checked with the Chinese manufacturer, and that guy said, amazing, I don't know how to make this product, but he has made it. So better place the order with him. And I made 10,000 pieces. She gave me the money also for the mold and my trials. That gave me the
Fantastic,
confidence.
fantastic.
That gave me the confidence, and I didn't patent it again. The patent சொல்லி பயமுறுத்துறதெல்லாம் Western idea. If it is useful for the society, you can sell and make money, you don't get into losses, I think we can continue doing products.
I think I have an important point to pick up here. When the last point I'll pick up first, and then I'll go to an earlier point. The last point is many of us spend a lot of time in trying to get vexed over ownership of idea, ownership of copyright, ownership and patenting and all of that. Nothing wrong with that, but don't get so vexed with it, so consumed by it, that you miss the bigger picture of social good that he is talking about. And I think anything that makes us unhappy is not worth pursuing. And trying to control an idea or its ownership is a very, very demanding exercise. It's a very, very demanding exercise. Anyway, to each one his own. I totally salute you, sir, for the fact that you let it go and you focused on the larger good. I want to go back to the earlier point you made, that it gave you the confidence. So you had quit a corporate job, you had lost some money in business in trying to do it, then this opportunity came up on its own, and you created and achieved a 10,000 piece order. It gave you the confidence. How did that confidence, so the second passion for him was heritage. He was looking at conserving heritage. There is no direct linkage between the two, but how did the second part come up? Where did you start the journey of heritage conservation and why?
There is a direct linkage to it.
Okay, please go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Contest AVIS because it is a love for the material science, love for the product. I see it as a heritage product done 2000 years before, not falling off. But buildings today, which don't even last for 60 years, with so much of deep digging, lot of maintenance and stuff like that, and you can see cracks developing up in 10 to 12 years. What is different in that? What material was used? What technology was used? What 3D CAD or anything sophistication was used? Nothing. And again, as an artist, I spend a lot of time around the temple than inside the sanctorum. Why? Because எல்லா இடத்துலையும் சிவலிங்கம் ஒரே மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும், எல்லா இடத்துலையும் பெருமாள் ஒரே மாதிரி தான் இருப்பார். அண்ணாமலையில் பண்ணுற சிவலிங்கம் இங்கேயும் பண்ணுவார் வேலை. இங்கே ஒரு காட்டில் நான் போய் ஒரு டிலாபேட்டட் டெம்பிளை பார்க்குறேன், ஒரு சிவலிங்கத்தை பார்க்குறேன், அவர்கிட்ட வேண்டினாலும் எனக்கு அந்த வேலை நடக்கும். If at all I am a believer of God, right? So what made me go through this temple conservation was again an accident. So we were this Ponniyin Selvan Varalaatru Peravai. There's a big group, you can Google, and a lot of 3,000 members who are so fancy about Kalki's Ponniyin Selvan. Detail எல்லா கேரக்டரையும் அனலைஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. அக்கு வேறு ஆணி வேறு, இதில் யார் வந்து அவராக அந்த ஃபிக்ஷியஸ் கேரக்டர் எது நிறைய கேரக்டர்லாம் பண்ணப்போ we had a sudden trip to வந்தியத்தேவன் பாதை. those who know பொன்னியின் செல்வன் will enjoy that. அந்த கோடியக்கரை வரைக்கும் போகலாம், இந்த வீராணத்துலேருந்து ஆரம்பித்து போகலாம். ஸோ குதிரையில் போக முடியாது, அஃப்கோர்ஸ் காரோ பைக்கோ எடுத்துன்னு போகணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு we had a vehicle and we started going. We went up to Tanjore, there was a heavy rain, we had to abandon our trip and come back. There are a lot of archaeologists, historians, Tamil experts and whatnot, all were around in the team. I was the only fellow who don't know anything. இன்றைக்கும் ஒன்றும் தெரியாது, அதான் பிரச்சனை. And I asked questions because I continuously hit their head. அதில் ஒருத்தர் சொன்னார், 1000 வருஷம் ஆயிடுச்சு, ஒரே ஸ்டோனு, அஸ்திவாரம் வந்து only 5 feet. These things really made me wonder how it is possible. Then go back to scientific experts like IIT and other people. ஒரு வாரம் 2 வாரம் அவங்க கிட்ட போய் கேட்குறேன், do you know the background of how this temple, do you have any drawings, have you ever tried ever, இந்த IR techniquesலாம் இருக்குது, have you ever tried checking the basement? அவர் சொல்கிறாரு, அது எப்படி சொல்கிறாரு, கல்வெட்டில் இருக்குது. சரி, கல்வெட்டு படிக்கலான்னா ஒன்றும் புரியல, எல்லாம் முறுக்கு பிழிஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்குது வரிசையாக. ஸோ ஐ வாஸ் எனக்கு ஆன்சர் இல்லைன்னா பைத்தியமே பிடிச்சிரும். ஸோ அகைன் I started asking experts. They said, yeah, I can read. Then they started reading few sentences. அதில் ராமச்சந்திரன் ஒரு சார் எக்ஸ்பர்ட், அவர் வந்து கல்கி குமுதம் படிக்கிற மாதிரி வேகமாக படிக்கிறாரு. ஸோ அமேஸ், ஸோ இட் இஸ் பாசிபிள், ஸோ ஐ கேன் ஆல்சோ டூ இட். தென் ஐ வென்ட் டு கோ அப்போ வந்து யாஹூ குரூப்ஸ் இருந்தது. வி ஸ்டார்டட் அ குரூப், டெம்பிள் _cleaners. இன்றைக்கும் தட் குரூப் இஸ் தேர். I got some 8 boys, interestingly IT boys, who wanted to break out of that IT jinx and அந்த 2 நாளாவது நிம்மதியாக இருக்கலாமேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, சனி ஞாயிறுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு வெளியில் வரலான்னு. ஸோ மகாபலிபுரம் போகலாம், எதுக்குடா போகிறீங்க, தண்ணி அடிக்க போகிறோம் சார், அதுக்கெல்லாம் போகக்கூடாது, மகாபலிபுரம் பார்க்க போகலாமே. ஸோ we went there and we got a historian along with us, and that way this journey started.
So you set up Reach Foundation with that outlook?
And it unraveled a lot of interesting things, the scientific facts, which is so amazing that we are just trying to break the tip of the iceberg. as I told
How
you.
did you fund this journey? I mean, if you were going to
No,
look at
we
conservation.
self-financing தான் ஓபிஎம் 5 பேர் ஷேர் பண்ணிப்போம், வேன் காஸ்ட்டு சாப்பாடு ஷேர் பண்ணிப்போம். இன்றைக்கும் அதே தான் நடக்குது. ரீச் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் இஸ் அ registered NGO. We have restored 30 temples, all with lime water.
How many temples again?
30 temples.
30. Fantastic.
All with lime mortar, kadkai vellam, old
Very
methodology.
Nice, very nice.
No cement, no sandblasting, no acrylic paints, and we restore the old style as it is. Pallava temple na Pallava temple மாதிரி, Chola temple na Chola temple மாதிரி இல்லை, எப்படி இருந்திருக்குமோ அதே மாதிரி. And we have a lot of pains, challenges, governmental problems, how you can do as an NGO. Yes, but we are continuing, and we have been lucky enough to teach the Andhra government how to do it. The department there, the endowment department came and asked us, why don't you conduct a workshop? What fees do you need? ஜரகண்டி இல்லாமல் திருப்பதி பெருமாளை காட்டுங்கண்ணா. நான் திருப்பதியில் தான் அந்த இது நடந்தது. Luckily that blessing was also there with us. That was the greatest fee I could ever take for my team. All the 7 members who are all great archaeologists, historians, director from Geological Survey of India, the best lime expert in the country, all. I am only the PRO of Reach Foundation. I still work as a worker. I don't join any trust or anything. Happy to do it because it gives you that enthusiasm. And the sad part, let me finish it off. 1.25 lakhs in Tamil Nadu alone, which are dated 400 years to 1200 years old, are in dilapidated condition without documentation or record.
Very good, very good. Thank you. You can hold the mic. I'll come. I want to pick on a word that he used, enthusiasm. I am only a PRO. I don't like to join any trust. I want to retain my enthusiasm for the work I do. You know, in this word contains the magic of his life and all our lives. The word enthusiasm comes from Greek origin. The word enthusiasm comes from the Greek word entheos, E-N-T-H-E-O-S. E-N-N means within. Theos, T-H-E-O-S, means God. Enthusiasm is when the God within you speaks. He referred to God a lot of times, so I was only inclined to pick up this part. I think if you are enthusiastic about something, it's the God within you that is speaking, that is motivating you to move forward. His journey with the Reach Foundation actually got him to 2 interesting opportunities, which is actually an opportunity for the world itself. One is that during the 3-year journey covering about 800 temples, he realized that drinking water was a big challenge for him personally, and he had to rely on bottled water. And he was thinking, if I am going to be relying on bottled water, what about the people who are living in the rural parts of the country, in the rural parts of the areas that I am visiting? What are they doing for drinking water? And that led him to his invention, which is the all natural Terafil water filter. I am going to talk to him about that. And the second opportunity that opened up for him was that he had to hire lodges every time he had to relieve himself. So there is absolutely no sanitation opportunity, no toilets in the rural parts that he visited as part of his conservation work for Reach Foundation. And that led him to invent a low cost, highly durable sanitation, a toilet, that he set up these 2 products and worked on researching them and set them up under his Watsan Envirotech, right? That's the name of your company. So he set it up. So Chandra, can you dwell a little bit about what makes Terafil special as a product? What are its USPs? And you priced it at 900 rupees. Tell us a little bit about that journey, and also talk about your sanitation project. Talk about both.
Yeah, so he rightly said this temple journey made me realize that water is the most wanted thing in a village. All these big companies, I don't know to name them, MNCs only concentrate in cities. They don't even reach B cities or villages. So still the waterborne diseases in the country are pretty high. 70% of the Indians don't have access to good drinking water. And my own suffering. Then I said, okay, let me work on this, and luckily there was a formula. It's not mine actually. It's only a retweaking of the formula. It was a formula from the CSIR. And as I earlier said, all the great institutions in the country seldom take it out to the market than spending time on patents and stuff like that. So CSIR had one of the great product, which is a clay-based micro filter. they had given license to 140 people and 139 failed. So that was a lesson to me. Why 139 people failed? So I took up that product. I paid the one time, it's a lifetime license of $1 lakh or so to the CSIR, Bhubaneswar. I paid that and started working on it. Because that question was always in my mind, why water? Why water is the problem? What should I do? How can I make it cheapest or affordable? So I took this candle, I tweaked a lot, I made some 3,000-4,000 candles myself doing that. The shula porradavanga formula la solli kodutangalo, I literally followed bit to bit. But what I got was rust, rust like stuff. Kaila pudicha alla appadi noringi poidum. So I was wondering what is wrong with the formula. I've done everything with even electronic balance switch alla weigh panni alla pakka. Then I understood it is something beyond that. So what is the rheology of the clay? What type of ingredients I should use? Why should I use that? And then I started re-engineering that whole stuff. Why these are the combinations and stuff like that. I talked a lot of traditional potters in Pudukkottai, Thanjavur, Chengalpet, and I started wandering like a monk with a bag, taking all clay samples in my bag, running around. In fact, that was the toughest period in my life. No money in hand, but the urge was there. வீட்டில் சுத்தமாக ரைட் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டாங்க சரி.
What did they tell you at home? They felt you were like you had lost it. You had lost the plot.
No, still they know me. I'm a hopeless guy.
How do you take it? How do you deal with that sentiment?
Let that be there with them. No, it is their opinion. You can't change opinions, right? You can change yourself. Suppose I make a mistake, I am ready to accept that and go ahead. Fine tune. Yeah, I told you I'll never take a loan. I have not taken a loan till date. For Watsan, it's a good company. Again, it started as a proprietary company in the name of custom parts online only. That was the second product I did in my company. Today we have touched 1 lakh lives, 1 lakh households, or maybe into 4 lakh lives in India, without any marketing, without any branding, without any USP or whatnot. But the USPs are very simple. I'll tell you a very basic, shocking revelations about the water what you all drink, and that's why I kept the Bisleri bottle down. I don't want to touch it. It takes away all the mineral and good salts which is needed for your body. The so-called RO. Rogam. Pinnadi your GM said Rogam. Why? Because the so-called membrane, when it is excited and does the reverse osmosis, it doesn't discriminate between good and bad. It's like Paramatma. Ellathin thukidum. So what is left is only the water. And that water what you drink, you are susceptible to all type of non-immunity based stuff. ஸோ வேறு எங்கேயோ போய் மறந்து போய் உங்கள் கிராமத்தில் போகிற சந்தோஷமாக ஊரில் இருக்கிற ஊரணி தண்ணி எடுத்து குடிச்சிங்கன்னா யூ வில் ஃபால் sick because your body has accepted the fate that it has no choice of searching that mineral and salt, craving for that mineral and salt and dying on its own. The body is the great mechanic on its own. It will try to adjust to the situation. ஸோ நீங்கள் ஆர்ஓ தண்ணியே தெளிச்சுட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்நான பிராப்தி. ஸோ இட் will always succumb to RO, and that is what has happened to all of us. That's why we get all this knee pain and all this stuff. So my water filter, I have re-changed the terminology. Not TDS. உடனே எல்லாரும் தெரிஞ்ச மாதிரி என்ன கேட்பாங்கன்னா TDS என்ன அப்படிம்பாங்க. Total dissolved salts. I asked the gentleman, sir, okay, total dissolved saltsல 100% நல்ல சால்ட் இருந்தால் என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? குடிச்சா அதாவது ஆகுமா? ஆகாது. Total dissolved salts as per the world standard 60 TDS இருக்கு வச்சுக்கோங்க. உங்கள் கெட்ட நேரம் எல்லாமே பேட் சால்ட்டாக இருந்தால் என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? குடிப்பீங்களான்னு கேட்டேன். அது எப்படி குடிப்பேன்னு. அப்போ why you bring TDS into water? TDS has nothing to do with water except, I'll tell you 5 mantras. The pathogens, the bacteria, viruses which is giving you that illness, arsenic, lead, fluoride and iron. The 5 எடுத்தாச்சுன்னா water is devamridam. So what my company is trying to do is to remove these selective stuff. That's it. We retain what
so
it is.
How did you price it at such a low price, 900 rupees, and it's valid for 15 years? It's durable for 15 years?
Yeah, because I know even அதே இன்ஸ்டால்மெண்ட்டில் கொடுக்குறான்னு கேட்குறாங்க நிறைய கிராமத்தில். And we are going to do it. We have tied up with NGOs. We don't have any marketing agents so far. All these 1 lakh filters have been reaching people through the NGOs, self-help groups, women self-financing.
So your filter is made from clay, sand,
sawdust and
sand candle, right?
Sawdust, when it burns at 900 degrees, gives you that capillary hole, which is a nano-sized hole, which will not allow the bad materials to pass through. So only water will percolate with the good minerals and salt as it is. So that selective.
But what about durability? How did you ensure
the sand in years? This? Yeah, the answer is the sand in it creates the matrix, which is melting at that particular temperature and creates a strong binding. And the clay again creates that cellular structure. because clay can be made into very thin structure, and that is what is happening. The pores are made up of clay. The pore is created by the sawdust which is burnt at 900 degrees, and sand is a matrix which holds it together. And why, and I know the answer now why those 139 people failed. They don't know the chemistry between these three and they failed. That is the reason, and I am happy that we tweaked it to the right way. Whatever any amount of
And you've sold a lack of units so far, is that what you said? You've sold
and again, there were innovations in every sense, let me tell you. There was an abandoned rice mill. Now these power rice mills have come. Again, when I went to dig a temple, Pallava period temple, which is a brick structure in near Chengalpad, Kidangarai, Kadankarai Iswarar. பிரச்சனை வச்சு பார்த்தா அந்த சாமி பேர் கடன்கரை ஈஸ்வரன் இருந்தது. இப்போ இன்றைக்கி அந்த ஊர் பேர் கிடங்கரை. I went there, when I dug up the temple out, I saw a lot of clay coming out. So interestingly, I asked, இங்கே எங்கேயாவது நிறைய clay கிடைக்குமானா, சார் பக்கத்தில் பாலாறு ஓடிக்கிட்டு இருக்கு, we can take any amount of clay. Are there any potters? Yes, there is a nearby village where a lot of potters are there, but they are jobless. And the village Talayari, the village head said, my rice mill is abandoned now. I don't have any money to run anything. My son has gone for IT job, my daughter has gone for IT job. I have 5 acres of land, but still I can, as an old man, I cannot do anything. Again, that was an opportunity. I said, okay, let me rent it out. If I go to a shed in JADC, or the Sitco or anything, it will cost me 1 lakh. 10,000 ரூபா வாடகை. அன்றைக்கி 5,000 ரூபா கொடுத்துட்டு இருந்தேன், 5 years முன்னைக்கு இன்றைக்கி 10,000 ரூபா கொடுத்தேன். நானே ஏற்றிடுவேன், அவங்களாம் கேட்க வேணாம், நமக்கும் மனோதர்மம் ஒன்று இருக்குல்ல. So that guy gave me this, and the potters immediately came running for a job. And the Irula ladies know, they catch snake, so they have the DNA in their structure. They can bend for long hours and cut candles. The color இருக்கிறது சொல்லுவாங்க. செங்கல்ல இருக்கிற இதெல்லாம் போய் பாருங்கள், நிறைய Irula people are put on job. So there are a lot of Irula families lying in open. So I said, okay, I took this abandoned shed, cleaned it, put them in that place, they can eat and cook and live there, no problem. So till date, that factory is giving me fantastic results. And again, there was another local guy who lost a MNC job because the company shifted to Himachal Pradesh for want of benefits. So that guy came running. He again is connected to me through the temple renovation thing. So he came and asked, sir, I want to help my father who is doing sugarcane farming. So will I work in your factory? He offered himself for me. I said, oh, he is a mechanical engineer, diploma, who has worked in a big company. He knows maintenance, every stuff. So again, God sends me the right people. Till date, I can vouch he is the best guy. I have not left any of my work. HR is not a problem for me because we understand people. Again, in my assembly shop in Ashok Nagar, we have destitute women whose husbands are drunkards, auto drivers and whatnot. They don't bring money to that house in time. So these women earn quite hard and take that money and run their family. None of them have left their jobs. And I don't press them hard. You have to work 8 hours, 9 hours. Somebody may say, I'll come at 10 o'clock because I have to put my children on school. So we made the office hour itself as 10 o'clock. Until last year, we were working in a garden of open house. ஒரு பெரிய வீடு அசோக் நகரில் தனியாக இருந்தது. அங்கே அந்த ஓப்பன் இதில் தான் மழை பெஞ்சா எல்லாரும் ஓடி போயிடுவோம்.
So Chandra, let me just try and get this into perspective. I think you're giving a fair body of detail here. So let's just get this into perspective. So his idea of going and doing heritage conservation leads him to look at water as an opportunity, which leads to the invention of the filter using completely natural materials, clay, sawdust and sand. And look at the beauty, and this is what we will always see in life. If your purpose is high, which is to solve unsolved problems and do good for society, if your purpose is high and your intent is pure, people will come into your lives, connections will happen. And that's what he is talking about when he went to scope out clay in that temple and scope out the temple. He found that there is good quality clay, there are people to source it for him, there are Irula women waiting to cut the candle for him, there is an MNC, a person from an MNC background willing to work with him, and things just fall in place. And 1 lakh units have been sold and 4 lakh lives have been touched. And I had a question for you on this story. We'll move to your sanitation project quickly, but on this story, have you not ever had the temptation that if you give this patent, this idea to a large company, you can attract investment, touch more parts of rural India, or have you not had the desire for yourself that namlu konjam paakalame idla inda 900 rupees product la namlu konjam paakalame அப்படிங்கிற ஆசை வரலையா, இல்லை வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் அதை ரெசிஸ்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்களா?
வர வாய்ப்பே இல்லை. இந்த 900 எப்படி 700 பண்ணணும்னு ரொம்ப மண்டை உடச்சுட்டு இருக்கேன்.
900
இன்னும் 700 600 எப்படி பண்ணலான்னு
how to bring it down. Okay. Okay, fantastic.
Why? Because again, as I told you, there are a lot of people coming all the way and spending money. It has come in a lot of magazines and TVs and things like that. So அந்த பழைய மேக்சினை சுருட்டி கக்கத்தில் வச்சுட்டு ராத்திரி 8 மணிக்கு ஒருத்தர் வந்தார். அப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரு 700 கொடுத்துருந்தேன். 5 years before I was giving at 700 rupees. ஃபில்டர் வேணும். கதவை திறந்தோடனே சம் அக்லி கிளாட் மேன் ஆஸ்கிங் ஃபில்டர் வேணும் அப்படி 8:30 மணிக்கு. I said okay, come in. அப்போல்லாம் வீட்டில் வச்சுட்டு now I don't have that practice of keeping in home. I have an office ஒரு இதில். So okay, I gave him and I know something wrong because he was hesitating to tell further. Filter கையில் எடுத்துட்டாரு. He didn't have money. Why? Because in that enthusiasm or excitement he spent a lot of money on travel, food and all those things. Coimbatore, you know, to coming to Senate Off Road and all those stuff, and he landed up with 300 rupees in his pocket. I said, I am happy to give it to you because you have taken pains to reach me. I don't market, I don't do anything, please take it. That's like Gramatalangalik and the Vairagya, Illa Samyala Artikamata. He said, no, I had to force on his head. And I told him, take this 100 rupees back because you have to pay again for your village to go back. Going back to his home, he tom-tommed it so highly, another 20-30 pieces I had to send by courier and whatnot at this price. Courier is my expense, and he sent a money order pannare. So today I can see a small good product can change lives of people in a very tremendous way. So I am racking my brain, how can I bring it down by automation? Because during winter season is a real problem. You can't dig clay, you can't dry clay, you can't do anything. So we have to give salaries anyway because they are வீட்டில் அடுப்பெரியணும்ல. So அந்த 4 மாதம் is a pain. As a business sense, nobody will put money in my company because I am wasting 4 full months. So it is like a grasshopper ant story. We build up a lot of candles during summer. போட்டு தள்ளிடுவோம். So 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh, my friend is here who is helping me in my business. So he can say, why so much of stack? I say, it will just go like this. And there's a rain and all waterborne diseases springing up from all states, you get orders and you just push it off. So this is the pain, and I'm trying to automate the whole thing. Again, it's my head. That sand what I'm using. Again, I'm doing something detrimental to nature. So for quarry dust, I'm trying to use that, and we have got successful results. Last 2-3 lots we are using quarry dust and making the formula, and it is working fantastic. And one more thing, the chula porrappa, like baking brick, it throws a lot of carbon. So I'm trying to build up a machine which will trap all the carbon and put it in a water bath so that the carbon will be settled down. Zero carbon efficient machine. So luckily, again, God was so kind to me. I got some grants. So no bank loan again. So with that grant, I'm putting that money into this stuff and trying to make it fully automated so that rain or shine, we can run the plant. All the Srilas women, we are planning to have some nice uniforms and some corporate stuff. So we can become a corporate instead of selling to a corporate. I don't want to name a company. We want to become the corporate waterman of the rural India.
Fantastic.
Why can't we become?
Fantastic.
Why can't we become? Why should we sell ourselves or our aspirations? Because he will never like my idea. Giving it free of cost, it's my discretion. No, because it is my company, my water filter. I have given free to many people.
Mike.
I think you don't need the mic.
No, you can.
Okay, Chennai rain, it was again another opportunity. Our factory was flooding. And the total full of flood we had to import, I only mold the water filter bodies in CIPET, my alumni, because they give quality products because it's an institution. They don't cheat using the regrind or anything like that. So I still have an agreement with them and mold the bodies in CIPET. And that time in Chennai rain, 15 days, no RO machines worked. 2,000 of my water filters were given to the rehabilitation people. At cost to cost. I didn't sell it at 900 or something. 650 is my manufacturing cost. We gave at the same price.
Beautiful.
That gave me that satisfaction of rising to the occasion. And the word my house was flooded. Kotrapuram. I am now in Kotrapuram. My house was flooded. I lost my car. I lost 20 tons of clay in my factory. But to do, that has to be with you. So the 2000 was, and the 3 வருஷம் இதில் 2000 பீஸ் ஒரே மாதத்தில் விற்றதே கிடையாது.
Beautiful.
And that was the time I gave away 2000 pieces happily.
Let's move to, I have a lot of questions in my head. I'm going to shoot a set of questions at the end, but let's talk a little bit about your sanitation project. In what way is your toilet, design-wise and implementation and durability-wise, different from other sanitation projects that are being implemented across the country. What makes it special?
Yeah,
And
let us get into the figures. Let us get into the figures straight. India needs 17.5 crore toilets to stop open defecation.
17.5 crores. Wow. Okay.
And today we have 2 lakh odd toilets being funded by all the CSR, etc., etc. At the end of the first year of Swachh Bharat, already half of them are dysfunctional. Because a lot of problems because the quality. Government says they can give 12,000 rupees for a toilet. Today there are a lot of civil engineers here. I can bet at 12,000 rupees you cannot do quality toilets. They compromise using asbestos roof or a tin door and a very shoddy ceramic bin, which is again molded in a substandard quality government subsidized factory and comes out, or within few months it will break. So people have started closing it and using it as a house because we day toilet. So the problem is so alarming. Don't we have mathematical figures to understand how do we reach that 17.5 crore? Again, to build a nice toilet, okay, let somebody give 20,000-30,000 rupees, still it takes at least 15 days. And the curing pannano, and the proper and the foundation la ella ready pannano. So enniki katta porom. See, there are a lot of unanswered questions. I told you, no. I do products when there are problems a lot. Sand availability is an issue. Cement, the day I go to purchase, it will be high. Water never available for drinking. Leave the question of toilets. Mason, the day you call him, his charges are high. So how are you going to solve this problem? In every village, every household, except for the Talayari and the Panchayat president, none of them will have toilets. So again, there was another opportunity. The windmill companies who are making these huge fiberglass blades, they dump 20,000 tons of fiberglass waste every month.
Wow.
Being a plastic engineer, I luckily got this data, immediately jumped to Suzlon and Gamesa and big companies and offered my service. Sir, I'll take away all the scrap. They are so happy because they have to pay the pollution control guy a monthly bribery of 5 lakh rupees to
Clear it.
hush the whole stuff.
Okay, okay.
They have huge tracts of land and JCP owned by them. They have full-time operators dumping the waste and filling with sand. So again, if they give it as a scrap to me, what will happen? PCB guy will come and sit in my head. So avoid pandrathu, they are going to invoice to me. We made some small pilots. We made 18 toilets in 7 days time. Sunlight is the curing agent. Sunlight is the curing agent. I taught the villagers who don't know anything on plastics or molding, have a life-size mold, give him the material, give him the know-how. 1 month we just sat with them and trained them. Now I know the hopeless so-called vagabond or a dropout or anybody can become a useful person making his own toilets. So Watson will never sell toilets, we will make toilet makers. Simple. With a cap of 5 lakh rupees.
That's a reinvention.
With a lakh of, with the investment of 5 lakh rupees, with a 1 month training, dropouts or jail convicts or even eunuchs, இவங்களெல்லாம் நாங்கள் டார்கெட் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம். I am today getting some light. Some people have responded back to my idea. We are going to do that one day. They will be trained. So I dream that in a district, at least 10 such centers should start up. So everybody will start making toilets. I have to, only my job is to collect all these 20,000 tons of waste, convert into raw material and give it to them in a kit. That's it. So ஒரு ஊரில் இருந்து எனக்கு ஒரு ஃபோன் கால் வருது, 10 toilets பண்ணணும்னா 10 kit box will go to him. He'll just pull out.
What is the cost of this kit box?
The raw material costs somewhere around 12,000 rupees. The labor should be say around 5,000-6,000 rupees. Within 20,000 rupees you can build a toilet, 1 toilet a day with 6 people.
And what about empowering of these people and training them? There is a cost. You said 5 lakh rupees, right?
Yeah.
To train how many
No,
people?
the 5 lakh rupees is for the life-size molds which we need to do, epoxy or fiberglass molds.
That's a one-time cost.
And we need to pay to the trainers, who are quality trainers who will teach them how to make the toilets.
So have you rolled out this mission? Is it already in progress?
As you know, breaking the ice is something very difficult, out of the box or anything. Nobody accepts. But we had a long fight with the Swachh Bharat and the so-called government department. Today they have added the material. This was not even added in the list of materials to be approved. Now they added FRP, fiber reinforced plastics. So that is a success after 3 full years of fight. Not fight, it is a continuous dialogue.
Like you were trying to persuade them, yeah, right?
And
so what do you call this brand? Like your filter is called Terafil. What do you call this brand? Is it branded?
Nothing. So just the idea, we are just looking forward for one such CSR thing to come to me. Let them show me 100 toilets. We will do it within 80 or 90 days or maybe 100 days also. That will become a news. 100 days, 100 toilets will obviously be in use. And I am not going to do it, somebody in the village is going to do. So any CSR managers here, please give me an opportunity.
Beautiful, beautiful. So here's a man who actually took the bull by its horns, took waste and tried to convert it into a raw material, but I'm actually seeing a bigger design here. The way he's approaching the scarcity of toilets issue is he's trying to democratize the process. He is not holding the cards close to his chest. He's saying anybody who is willing to come forward and get trained can be a toilet maker. So we don't provide toilets, but we make toilet makers. And to the toilet makers, we give training, we give the toilet kits, and we give you the source, point in the direction of the source of the raw material, and anybody can pick it up, whether you are a convict, or a former convict, you are out of job, or you are a transgender who is struggling for a living. Here is your opportunity to do something. I think this is this democratic approach is probably the only one that will work when there is a demand of 17.5 crores and 2 lakh is what we are achieving, of which half the number have gone dilapidated, right? Have lost, have been lost into disuse because they were not used properly and they didn't have sufficient maintenance and whatnot. I think we see that all over the city also. So beautiful. So Watsan does the natural filter, the Terafil natural filter, and does, according to me, I will call it the democratization of the toilet opportunity, the sanitation opportunity in the country. So fantastic. I'm now going to ask you some questions myself. ஏன்னா உங்களை கேட்கும் போதே ரொம்ப இன்ஸ்பைரிங்காக இருந்தது. உங்களுக்கு சார், உங்களை யாராவது பார்த்து உங்களுக்கு யூனோ வேர்ல்ட்லினஸ்ஸே கிடையாது, உங்களுக்கு உலக ஞானமே கிடையாது, இப்படி வந்து திடீர்னு ப்ரைஸை ட்ராப் பண்ணுறீங்க, திடீர்னு 4 months salary அப்படியே கொடுக்குறேன்னு சொல்கிறீங்க, are you not sometimes accused of not having a business sense and not trying to make this into a business opportunity? How do you deal with this at your personal level as Chandra? Mic எடுத்துக்கோங்க சார், ஏன்னா there is a recording going on.
No, I always do what I want to do, that's it. There's no second thought about it. Even if I am frank enough to talk, somebody may get wounded. Immediately when I know that the second person's opinion or the reaction is different, I immediately apologize. Again, ego irundana romba kashtam. I still say I am the best worker in my company without a salary.
But what about the nuts and bolts of it? Yeah, you are talking about, so I'm saying to run a business, you need working capital. To run a household, you need an income, right? How do you deal with the ups and downs of everyday life on the business side when you are so focused on the purpose and doing things for your inner joy, for your satisfaction, for helping society, sometimes at your personal cost? Don't you feel like that?
Not really, because my needs are very less. Luckily I have a wife whose needs are also very less. She doesn't ask me anything. There's a guiding for a second. There is some women behind every man சொல்லுவாங்க. எங்கள் வீட்டில் நிறைய women இருக்காங்க. And now my sister, as I told you, is the first engineer from Alagappa College. My second sister was a banker who left the job and today is running the best fintech company awarded by the president. My brother, who was a leading chartered accountant in London, left everything to just be as a joint family with us and came back here to start his life. And I am what I am. So my third sister, in fact she is no more, but she was the one who put me into CIPET. There was no money. Obviously, you know, typical South Indian Brahmin family is a big family with one man earning money and spending on to too many people. And the situation, my sister went for a job and she put me into CIPET, saying that you can immediately study this course because this is job oriented. So you have to support the family. My brother was studying masters and other thing after I went for a job. So these are all opportunities given to me. So I always choose my need. I still drive a bike because I am happy driving it. Chennai road la neenga car vechittu ore edathila nikka vendida. So the purpose. Why should I say I am a director of a company and having a great car and even a nano? I don't feel it's too extravagant for me. Like even my set of clothes, so 7 or 8 sets, and this was yesterday bought for the London stuff. I'm rewearing it. கல்யாண மாப்பிள்ளை மாதிரி வாங்கின புதுல சார் 2 நாள் அந்த மவுஸ் இருக்கும், போட்டுட்டு அப்புறம் 4 நாள் கழட்டி வச்சிருவேன். If I don't feel I am not going to wear this, I am not going
but
to.
But it looks good on you. It definitely looks
because
good
I
on
had
you.
to match AVIS. At least in the sense le adu match பண்ணலாம் சார்.
Okay, by the way, disclaimer, we didn't sync this, okay? I wore this separately, he wore this separately, okay? So Chandra, quickly, let me complete the question. Nalla ketinte. I think you are entertaining the audience with your candor, so I expect you to be as candid as you normally are. So between the plastics engineer, the heritage conservationist, the inventor, innovator, family man, and social do-gooder. Which one is the real Chandra?
It's a mix of all. I can't discriminate because I love what I do, whatever I do. My family, I spend a lot of time doing jokes because I was a maverick sort of. That's the right word to use. Because எல்லா காம்படிஷன்லையும் கலந்துப்பேன் நான். பெயிண்டிங்காக இருக்கட்டும், ஸ்கல்ப்டிங்காக இருக்கட்டும். ஏன்னா காலேஜில் அந்த பாயிண்ட்ஸ் வச்சுட்டு தான் அந்த பெரிய கப்பு தூக்கி கொடுப்பாங்க. ஏன்னா அந்த கடைசியாக பிறந்ததில் என்ன தெரியுமா, நீங்கள் தவிட்டே இருப்பீங்க தவளை மாதிரி. நம்மளை யாராவது கண்டுக்க மாட்டாங்களா, அது உள்ளே இருக்குது போல இருக்குது. ஸோ ஐ யூஸ் டு பிரிங் இன் லாட் ஆஃப் ப்ரைஸஸ் இன் மை ஹோம். அது பாட்டு ஒரு ஓரமாக கிடக்கும். அம்மா சொல்லுவாங்க போட்டு போட அப்படிம்பாங்க. ஏன்னா வீட்டில் எல்லாருமே ஆர் கிரேட் இன் தேர் ஓன் வே. ஸோ தட் மேட் மீ கோட் ஃபார் தட் பெஞ்ச் மார்க். என்ன ரைஸ் பண்ணலான்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஐ திங்க் ஸோ ஐ எம் a mix of everything, and because I love everything what I do. Today suddenly that archaeologist who is the founder, director of Reach Foundation, Dr. Satyamurthy, you would have heard of his name. He has restored 400 temples in his service, and all amazing, from Rajasthan, different type of stuff. He has been a consultant to Angkor Wat. So அந்த மாதிரி எனக்கு நல்ல டீச்சர்ஸ் கிடைச்சாங்க. My CIPET director, Dr. S.K. Nayak, who is a good teacher, still guides me what I should do, what I should not do, even though he is a director general of the whole CIPET institutions, which are 36 in the country. ஸோ எனக்கு நல்ல லக் என்னென்னா, ஐ காட் லாட் அண்ட் மகாபிரியவா. அந்த the day I was stillborn, I was not given a name because they didn't expect me to survive, right? And that day there was a trunk call done to my grandparents, I believe, and they said வேறு வேலை இல்லை 5%. So the phone was kept down. So my father is a very soft spoken person, and he was so hurt, and I was told that day Chaturmasya Varada Mahapriyava entered Visakhapatnam, and I was born in Visakhapatnam. So that name was given to me. Maybe that name ராமானுஜான் பேர் வச்சுட்டு கணக்கில் ஜீரோ வாங்கினா எப்படி, அந்த மாதிரி சந்திரசேகரன் பேர் வச்சதுனாலேயே ஐ திங்க் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தட் நேம் ஐ ஹவ் டு கீப் அப் டு தட் நேம். எவ்வளோ இப்போ நல்லது பண்ணாலும் தகாது. ஏன்னா அவன் மகாபிரியவாக இருக்கிறதுனால ஐ போல்ட்லி சே. யாராவது இந்த கடவுள் நம்பிக்கை இல்லாதவங்க இருந்தால் மன்னிச்சுக்கோங்க. ஏன்னா நான் நம்புகிறேன், அதனால் நான் அதை பேசுகிறேன், அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ ஈ ஸ்டில் மை எம்டி. என்னோட சொன்ன மாதிரி கிரீசிஸ் வரப்போ ஐ கோ அண்ட் டெல் மை எம்டி, சார் பணம் இல்லை, நாளைக்கு ஏதோ ஒரு ஆர்டர் வரும். சத்தியமாக சொல்கிறேன், டச் வுட்.
Fantastic.
The day I want to do some R&D, I have 4 or 5 innovations in medical line. I can give a small brief of everything. இந்த ஃப்ளட்டில் வந்து ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல், ஐ டோன்ட் வாண்ட் டு நேம் தி ஹாஸ்பிட்டல், 13 பேர் ஆக்சிஜன் இல்லாமல் செத்து போனாங்க. I have developed something like a salt. You just put it in water, it will throw out oxygen in the required measured dose which is needed for a human being. ஒரு ceasefire பாட்டில் மாதிரி நீங்கள் சோத்தில் தொங்க விட்டுலாம். You just pour water, and any layman can just take the mouthpiece and just plug it onto the guy. You can save his life. For 30 minutes it will give you pure medical oxygen. And it was vetted in the hackathon conducted by GE. We got the first prize. Okay. The second product is something which is much more interesting. We talk of women emancipation and things like that. There is no proper condom for a woman to wear, which was told to me again by a woman pained doctor, gynecologist from Aurangabad, who serves in remote village in Aurangabad. She told me in Hindi, chaste Hindi, in that hackathon. See, hackathon is something, those who don't know hackathon, the problems will be told loud. There will be 100 problems told loud. So engineers, thinkers, designers should brainstorm, and the next day you have to pitch a product. So this lady told a very and the breastfeeding sentence मार था, अरे बच्चे बनेगा तो भी मार खाती है, नहीं बनेगा तो भी मार खाती है. कुलांदा पेताला अड़ी वांगरा, परले नाला अड़ी वांगरा. So that struck me so hard. Then I took that, she was weeping when she was telling this pain point. So I went to her, consoled her, and asked, Madam, what is the problem? She said, there is no contraceptive. And one leading Bangalorean doctor and me and that lady searched all around Bangalore where GE hackathon was conducted. Not even a single medical shop had a women contraceptive. There are something in the market which is just a tube, which I was told, when it is worn, it creates a squeaking sound, and when the village husband comes to know of it, he'll hit her like anything. Because his independence or that freedom or that authority is gone. எவ்வளோ மோசமான உலகம் பாருங்கள். என்ன உமன் எமான்சிபேஷன் பேசுகிறோம் நம்ம. ஸோ ஐ asked her, give me the design of the inner side, how it will look like. So I created a design, and the design was pitched. We got the third prize. Second prize மாத்திரம் யாரோ ஒருத்தர் அடிச்சிட்டாங்க. போட்டின்னு வந்துட்டு விடக்கூடாதுல்ல. So first was this oxygen makers, third was the contraceptive. And one more I have is a nostril, plugging nostril filter, which you can just plug in. And you wear a mask or you wear a kerchief, what will happen? However good you are, people will think you are an asthma patient, or nobody will try to come and stand near you or talk to you. The social stigma is so bad. அது ஒரு பெயின் தானே. நீங்கள் உங்கள் உடம்பை காப்பாற்றிக்கிற போகிறீங்க, அந்த டஸ்ட்டு அலர்ஜி வரக்கூடாதுன்னு பார்க்குறீங்க, மூடிக்கிறீங்க, ஆனால் உங்ககிட்ட யாரும் வந்து பேச மாட்டாங்க. எவ்வளோ மோசம். So that also hit my head, and Nathubulak, that was the inspiration. Bharatanatyam ulla soriyipanga. So that was the inspiration, and with that I have developed a nostril, plug-in nostril, which will be again done from each nostril in a different way. You have a small scanner, it will take the shape of that and convert into a drawing and do 3D printing, and you get that nostril.
Beautiful.
நான் ஸ்மால் மீடியம் எக்ஸல் லார்ஜ்னு பனியன் மாதிரி போட முடியாது. நான் ஒவ்வொருத்தர் நோஸ்டில் ஒவ்வொரு மாதிரி இருக்கும், ஒவ்வொரு ஷேப்பில் இருக்கும். ஸோ ஹேவ் டு எக்ஸாக்ட்லி மேட்ச் அண்ட் கிவ் வாட் யூ நீட். அதை நீங்கள் வந்து வாட்டரில் வாஷ் பண்ணி ஜான்சன் பட்டு மாதிரி திருப்பி பேக்கில் எடுத்து போட்டுக்கலாம். யூ கேன் ரீயூஸ் ஒரு காண்டாக்ட் லென்ஸ் மாதிரி. அண்ட் ஐ எம் பிச்சிங் லைக் அ ப்ரைஸ் ஆஃப் 10 rupees ஆர் சம்திங். என்ன தெரியுமா, இந்த இன்னோவேஷன் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தாலும் காசு கிடையாது. யூ ஹவ் டு அகெயின் பிரிங் இன் தட் டைப். ஐ பூல் தட் மணி, தென் கோ ஃபார் த செகண்ட் ஒன். மேபி பை டிசம்பர் அண்ட் ஐ வில் கம் அவுட் வித் தட் ஆக்ஷன் திங். மேபி நெக்ஸ்ட் நானே எனக்கு பெஞ்ச் மார்க் வச்சுப்பேன், நானே இந்த ரைட் பாக்கெட்லேருந்து லெஃப்ட் பாக்கெட்டில் போட்டுப்பேன், இன்னோவேஷன் பாக்கெட்டில். அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ அது பண்ணிட்டேன்னா, ஸோ அகெயின் யூ கம் அவுட் வித் த ப்ராப்ளம், ஐ வில் கம் அவுட் வித் த ப்ராடக்ட். ஸோ ஐ லவ் வாட் ஐ டூ, தட் இஸ் வை ஐ எம் வாட் ஐ எம்.
I like the fact, the clarity. I am what I am. Okay, what you see is what you get. And every part of the conversation for the last about hour we have been talking to him, every part of the conversation goes back to the same point which he concluded with: you give me a problem, I will give you a solution. I think if when the product innovation, he is trying to do it like the way we do the banana chips, the hot chips point la ponena tuck 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 nu pondunde irukum. So I think the way he is innovating is on the fly. He hears, takes the problem into himself and is finding a solution. I think amazing. First, let's give him a round of applause. I'm going to open the floor for questions, but one thing I picked up from his entire conversation, okay, and I want to kind of say it in my way, the way I understand purpose, okay. Again, I'll go back to that beautiful English word purpose. உங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஃப்ளாட்டரிங்காக இருந்தால் இருக்கலாம், பட் எனக்கு வந்து இது சொல்லணும்னு தோன்றது. ஸோ ப்ளீஸ் அலவ் மீ டு சே இட். ஓஷோ, த கிரேட் திங்கர், said வாழ்க்கைக்கு அர்த்தமே கிடையாதுப்பா, there is no meaning, because you're born choiceless. In his case, he was even born stillborn. So you're born choiceless, you'll go away choicelessly. You came with nothing, going to go with nothing. So வாழ்க்கைக்கு அர்த்தமே கிடையாது, இந்த அர்த்தம் இல்லாத வாழ்க்கையில் ஏன் இவ்வளோ ட்ராமா பண்ணுறீங்க அப்படின்னு அவர் கேட்டார். ஜோசப் கேம்பல் அதை கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் பண்ணார். He said வாழ்க்கைக்கு அர்த்தமே கிடையாது, there is no meaning to life, you bring meaning to life. Chandra ticks away on that. Then in Zen thought, there is a beautiful perspective, and the perspective is that the meaning of life is to find your gift. நமக்குள்ள எல்லாருக்குள்ளேயும் ஒரு புதையல் இருக்குது, ஒரு ட்ரெஷர் இருக்குது, ஒரு கிஃப்ட் இருக்குது. ஓகே, ஸ்டில் பார்ன் பேபி டர்ன்ட் சந்திரா குள்ள அந்த கிஃப்ட் ஆஃப் இனோவேஷன் இருக்குது, த கிஃப்ட் ஆஃப் ப்ராப்ளம் சால்விங், அன்சால்வ்டு ப்ராப்ளம்ஸை சால்வ் பண்ணக்கூடிய gift இருக்கு. So the meaning of life is to find your gift, but the purpose of life is to give that gift away. And I think Chandra has been able to do that remarkably well. I think I find it so powerful. ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் சார் நீங்கள் பண்ணுறது. ஒன் இஸ் டு திங்க் தி ஐடியாஸ், செகண்ட் இஸ் டு பி ஸோ அசால்ட்டாக, நம்ம சென்னை பாஷையில் சொன்னால் ரொம்ப அசால்ட்டாக இருக்காரு. இட்ஸ் ஃபைன், okay, this is a problem, this is my solution, this is a problem, this is my solution. I think we'll need a whole day to talk to you about all of that, but now I'll open the floor for discussion from the audience point of view. Please go ahead with your questions. We have phone number offline now vaangikonga, okay, please. Phone number, email, everything I'll give you. Yeah I'll come to
one question on this water filter. See, one of the reasons why we take this mineral water is also the contamination that happens with your metro water, because many times it doesn't come to you directly, it comes through multiple layers and tanks and all that. So the contamination part of it, how does your filter address?
That is the reason I made it, because you imagine not
mic is
you imagine not your home, the houses where the tankers come and directly deliver to the jhopadis, the slums, where they catch it in a pitcher and take it inside their house. So it removes pathogen as the first rule. The contamination or the slug or anything like that changes the pH to neutral, even if it is acidic or alkaline, removes away all the agglomerates or the condensates which are clayey or dark, and in whole of North Chennai you have iron, it removes completely iron. We have certification from lot of government hospitals in rural northeast. Whole of northeast has lot of iron, Brahmaputra belt fulla. We have sold more than 20,000-30,000 water filters to the primary health department of the government without bribing anybody. So the product speaks for itself. Water filter abdinale, this pathogen, what you said, this type of thing to be first removed. Then only we talk of eliminating other elements.
So any tap water of any kind, I mean, this will cure that.
In fact, this is for, I use corporation water.
Okay.
With iron. I will filter it in Terafilter. I have 2 of it because we have a lot of guests coming in my home. We have 2 and we manage.
Very nice. Next question. Yes, sir.
Wow.
I just want to, I had gone to Suzlon to take that waste, wanting to do this with some research of IIT,
Wow.
how to eliminate the whole process of getting such waste out. I heard about someone trying to take this material as a filler. Are you using this as a filler, the waste that you collect from Suzlon and all that? Or, it is already it's already a polymerized product. It cannot be repolymerized again into your, what do you call it?
I think I'll just repeat his question. I think it's a very technical question.
Yeah,
He's talking about the usage of the waste that is turned out by the wind energy companies. He's talking about the technical
usage. Is it a filler or it is used as a raw material? That's
used as the raw material.
I mean, you're again polymerizing it.
That is the building material for making the toilet.
Polymerizing. That means it's a semi-polymerized material. Okay.
Okay. So that answers his question. Yes, it is used for raw material purposes through a polymerization process. Yes, sir. Third question.
சார் வணக்கம் சார். சந்திரமோகன் சென்னை பெட்ரோலியமில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறேன். நேற்றுக்கு திருக்குறள் படிக்கிறப்ப அன்பிற்கும் உண்டோ அடைக்கும் தாழ்னு ஒரு திருக்குறள் படிக்கிறப்ப உங்களுடைய புது புது பொருள்களை நீங்கள் உற்பத்தி செய்தது மனம் இருந்தால் மார்க்கம் இருக்குங்கிற மாரி அந்த கஷ்டப்படுறவங்கள பார்க்குறப்ப உங்களுக்கு அந்த உத்வேகம் வந்திருக்கு. அது அந்த இறைவனுடைய அது எல்லாமே அந்த அன்புங்கிற இதோட மனித நேயத்தோடு நீங்கள் மனிதர்களை அணுகரிக்கிறீங்க. அது உங்களுக்கு புது புது பொருள்களை உருவாக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு சிறந்த மனித நேயத்தை உருவாக்கியிருக்கு. ரொம்ப சிறந்த அதில் வந்து
நான் உங்களுக்கு பதில் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, நான் நிறைய பெண்களோட இருக்கேன் வீட்டில். எங்கள் அக்கா அம்மா எல்லாருமே எனக்கு இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன்
சார். சிவாயினம். அப்புறம்
ஸோ உங்களுக்கு இந்த தாய் உள்ளங்கிறது வந்து ஐ ஹவ் ரியலைஸ் வித் ஆல் மை சிஸ்டர்ஸ், மை மதர், my wife, even my daughter. I talk to my daughter like I talk to my mother only. And they teach you what life is all about. And because you struggle, why should you keep on weeping about the struggle and live in it and dwell in it? Come out of it, no? சரி, நம்மக்கிட்ட ஒரு கஷ்டம் தெரியும். இந்த கஷ்டத்தை எடுக்கிறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும், வெளியில் வந்து யோசிச்சா தானே யோசிக்க முடியும்.
மனம் இருந்தால்
அந்த மாதிரி அந்த ₹1 காயின் இன்னைக்கு நான் வச்சிருக்கேன் பத்திரமா. பாம்பேல எனக்கு அந்த ₹1 காயினை பார்த்துட்டு தண்ணி குடிச்சேன்ல.
உங்களுடைய நிகழ்வுகள்
பர்ஸில் இருக்காது.
என்னுடைய வாழ்க்கையில நிறைய சம்பவங்களை நிறைவேறு சார். தனியாக பேசுகிறோம் நான். உங்களுக்கு தெரிந்த நண்பர் சூளைமேட்டில் சிவபாதசேகரன்.
பாடன்
சிவபாதசேகரன் சூளைமேட்டில்
சிவபாதசேகரன்
ஒரு கேஸ்டால் அவரும் ரீச் ஃபவுண்டேஷன்
நல்ல ஃப்ரெண்ட் அவர்.
நான் அவருடைய ஒரு டிசைபிள் சார். அவர் மூலியமாக தான் எல்லாமே நாங்களும் நீங்கள் சொல்கிற அந்த ஹெரிட்டேஜ் இதில்
So you have a question?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you had only an observation. Yes, Ramesh. Then somebody here had a question. Anybody here with a question?
Extremely impressive to hear you, sir. We are all blessed to have you in our midst, and we are extremely grateful to you, sir. May I ask you as to how many hours do you have in a day to handle all these multifarious dimensions of your activities? Is it something much more than 24 hours, or it is just 24? And if so, how do you handle your time management?
I am not a she. What time God has given to you, the same time God has given to me. I don't sleep. ரொம்ப அது வேஸ்ட்டுன்னு தோன்றது. நான் படம் பார்த்து 13 வருஷம் ஆச்சு. சினிமா ஒரு வேஸ்ட்டு, டிவி ஒரு பெரிய வேஸ்ட்டு. ஏதாவது ரொம்ப சீரியலோட ரொம்ப அடிக்ட் ஆகிட்டேன்னா ப்ளீஸ் கம் அவுட் வெரி குவிக். ஏன்னா இன்னொரு பிரச்சனை இருக்குது. ரொம்ப யோசிச்சேன்னா அந்த மாதிரி பிரச்சனை இருக்குது. நான் படத்துக்கு போய் ஃபஸ்ட்டு சீன் பார்த்தோன்னே எனக்கு கிளைமேக்ஸ் என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சிடும். ஸோ போர் அடிச்சிடும். ஸோ வெளியில் வந்துடலாம். ஸோ அது பார்த்தேன். பட் ஃபார் மை சில்ட்ரன் ஐ ஹவ் டன். ஐ ஹவ் நாட் எக்ஸ்க்ளூடட் இட் ஃப்ரம் மை லைஃப். பசங்களுக்காக நான் போய் மௌக்லிலாம் பார்த்துருக்கேன். நானும் அவங்களோட சேர்ந்து குரங்கு கூத்தாடி இருக்கேன், எல்லாம் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். பட் இட்ஸ் அன் எக்ஸப்ஷன். லைக் ஐ ஹவ் சீன் ஸ்வதேஷ், இட்ஸ் அ கிரேட் மூவி. ஐ ஹவ் சீன் சக்குதே, விச் ஆல்சோ இஸ் லைக் ரீடிங் யுவர் பிரெயின் அவுட். அந்த சினிமாவில் பார்க்குறப்ப அதுலேருந்து யூ டேக் அ க்ளூ. வாட் கேன் ஐ டூ பேக், இந்த 2 படம் நான் கட்டாயம் பார்த்துருக்கேன். எத்தனை தடவை வந்தாலும் பார்ப்பேன். அந்த 2 மணி நேரம் ஒர்த்து. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நல்ல படங்கள் பார்த்தோம் வச்சுங்களேன், வி கேன் அண்ட் அகெயின் எவ்வளோ நேரம் தான் தூங்க முடியும்? ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். சாப்பிட்றது சரி இப்படி வச்சுக்கலாமே, தூங்குறதுக்கு 5 மணி நேரம் மேக்ஸிமம், சாப்பிட்றதுக்கு 3 வேளையும் சேர்த்து 1 மணி நேரம். ஓகே, 6 மணி நேரம் போயிடுச்சா? ஸோ 24ல் 6 மணி நேரம் போனால் 18 மணி நேரமாக நீங்கள் வேலை செய்கிறீங்க. I don't think you don't do that, but I try to do that. I am not doing, I try to do that.
I want
lot
to,
of time, you have a lot of time in fact.
I want to add here, you know, we talked about purpose. I've been harping on purpose because ever since I heard Chandra's story, the only word that sticks to my head is a man with a purpose. When life has a purpose, I have learned, sleep comes in the way. You won't feel like sleeping. It will come in the way. You will feel like jumping out of bed and wanting to get on with the day, get on with your tasks. And you know, the great A.R. Rahman has said that Khwaja Mere Khwaja for Jodha Akbar, he composed it in his sleep. Now you see how it happens. Now in that case it's a musical composition, in his case it is an innovation. It's no different. It's just an expression of who you are. And I think, thank you for saying that. I think the body needs sleep, and I think the body is very well wired to know when to sleep. Okay? And how much to sleep. Exactly. Thank you, Varadarajan. Next question, please. Yes, sir. Vijay.
This filter, if I want to buy it, where can I buy it in Chennai?
My colleague is there, you can check out. Rajgopal is there, he is my friend, schoolmate friend, again God sent. I was struggling to get the right man. ஏன்னா இன்றைக்கி அந்த நல்ல ஆட்கள் கிடைக்கிறது கஷ்டம். இஸ் a very close friend of mine. அப்படியே ஒரு ஏஞ்சல் மாதிரி பறந்து வந்தான். He said, Chandra, I'll join you. Just 1 month he joined before. And he is taking care of all the marketing stuff because I want to spend my real time on further alleviating fluoride, further alleviating pesticide for Punjab people, alleviating the Tirupur dye in the Tirupur area. And so I have, India has that type of problem. No big companies address that issue. எப்படி ஆர்சனிக் பீகார் பெங்கால் எடுத்தோமோ அந்தந்த ஊருக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி வாட்டர் ஃபில்டர் பண்ணி கொடுத்தா தான் அந்த ஊர் ப்ராப்ளத்தை சால்வ் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ ஐ லாட் ஆஃப் ஹோம் ஒர்க் டு டூ. அதனால் அவர்கிட்ட விட்டேன், நீ நஷ்டத்தில் வைக்கிறியா லாபத்தில் வைக்கிறியா நீ பார்த்துக்க, என்னமோ பண்ணி கம்பெனி ஓடுனா தான்.
But can he answer actually, is it available
Yeah,
in any
he'll
of the
give the
shops?
address, phone number, everything. You better
So offline, Vijay, you can take it
Thank
offline.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you can take it offline. Next question, please. We have time for one more question at least. Yes, sir.
Chandru is a good friend of mine, long time. So nice to hear you. But you didn't tell about the awards and the winnings, what you did. You did not mention. Because it will be a motivating factor to other people. Because you are not told about you came in so many TV.
I'll add that point. I think it will be
not
embarrassing for him to add it. He has got 2 national awards for his projects, and he has been rated among the top 12 social entrepreneurs in India by Business World magazine. I want to use this question as a prompt, Chandra, to ask you to share with us very quickly. We have very limited time. So very quickly, what was the invitation from the UK? What was your trip about? And how meaningful is it in your line of work?
Yeah, okay. The feeding bottle story, what I told, got me a national award after 4 years from the Ministry of Petrochemicals, because it was very innovative, helping the people who can't do breastfeeding. The toilet got me the national award last year for the solving the solid waste management. I keep pitching to a lot of competitions. In fact, இன்னைக்கு போய்ட்டு ஒரு 16 இது ஃபில் பண்ணணும். I think dossiers, the business plan and all those things, projections, what not. அது பண்ணி நாளைக்கு இப்போ ராத்திரிக்குள்ளே சப்மிட் பண்ணேன்னா there is a global clean tech competition worldwide. We are in the last 20 finals. ஏன் அப்படின்னா இந்த பணம் எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப முக்கியம். The grants and the awards are not a loan. It's a grant given for the credit what you have done. So I take it as an opportunity because என்னோட அடுத்த R&D எப்படி நான் பண்ணுவேன். இப்போ நான் சொன்னேன் ஆட்டோமேஷன் பண்ணேன் என் பிளான்ட்டுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. Luckily we got a grant from Millennium Alliance, which is a conglomerate of UKAID, USAID, Department of Science and Technology and lot of people together. And earlier they had wasted lot of grants. ஏன்னா கொடுத்தோடனே அந்த பையன் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமாகி நல்லா ஸ்பென்ட்ரிஃபை grant போயிடுது. So now they are very meticulous on selecting the people and asking us a quarterly report of what have I done with the money. So that is why these teams are all good to build, because capacity building is one of the agenda. Second thing is the automation, so that I can save time and make it more cheaper. So in the issues coming back to the awards, by applying to these grants, what happens now, your exposure is much better. Now you can't advertise, you can't put it in a branding, you can't make Hema Malini become a doctor even overnight, or Sachin Tendulkar selling water, and the காசுலாம் என்கிட்ட கிடையாது. அதனால் என்னென்னா this is a good exposure. So that gives you
your UK trip, what was it about?
So there was this Power of Ideas conducted by the Economic Times. We had a 20 days camp in IIM Ahmedabad by CIIE. அதில் 10 பேரை செலக்ட் பண்ணி ராயல் அகாடமி ஆஃப் இன்ஜினியரிங் இன் யூகே they selected innovators, and they gave another boot camp where they again gave us an opportunity to pitch to international investors and things like that. And அதில் வந்து ஒரு வீடியோ அந்த மாதிரி they have done to 20 countries. So on an average of say 20 people into 20 countries, 400 people are alumni of Royal Academy of Engineering. ஸோ அவங்கள்லேருந்து ஒரு வீடியோ காம்படிஷன் வச்சாங்க. அது 1.5 minute டைம் கொடுத்துல அந்த வீடியோ யூ ஹவ் டு டெல் யுவர் ஸ்டோரி. I have practiced that very hard because I have Founder Institute. That is another great thing for people who want to become an entrepreneur. fi.co Founder Institute என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா கழுமரத்தில் ஏற்றுற மாதிரி லிட்ரலாக இந்த மதில் மேல் பூனை மாதிரி நீங்கள் ஏறி நிற்கிறீங்க. நான் ஃபவுண்டர் இன்ஸ்டியூட் கலீக்ஸ் 2-3 பேர் வந்திருக்காங்க, இங்கே மகேஷ் எல்லாம் வந்திருக்காங்க. they know what it is. Go through the grind if you want to really become an entrepreneur. What is the pain you are trying to alleviate? How are you going to alleviate? What is the business plan? How much money do you need? How much you have put from your pocket immediately? Have you quit your job? அந்தளவுக்கு they are very vigorous and make you. And எப்போ இன்கார்பரேஷன் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா, லீகல் அட்வைசர் வச்சாச்சா, சார்ட்டர்ட் அக்கௌண்டன்ட் வச்சாச்சா, கம்பெனி வந்தாச்சா. So the last day when they give the certificate, you should have all these things in plate. Otherwise you are out. Last day கூட they will throw back your money on your face. Money is not important to them. So that is Founder Institute. So நான் வந்து ரொம்ப லேட்டாக ஜாயின் பண்ணேன். Chennai Fall was first started in India. It is spread around 130 countries or something like that. Started in Silicon Valley by the Silicon Valley IT people, and it's growing very fast. Chennai Fall I was lucky to join last year. அப்போ எல்லோரும் கேட்டாங்க, என்ன சார் நீங்கள் தான் பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்களே, எதுக்கு இதில் ஜாயின் பண்ணீங்கன்னு. there are a lot of elements are undotted, unfinished dotted lines which you don't know in business. And still I am not a businessman. இன்ட்யூட்டிவாக எனக்கு தோன்றதை நான் பண்ணுறேனே வெளியே பிளான் பண்ணி இப்படி தான் பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணணும் நான் பண்ணலை. So there are certain elements which we need to learn. So I learned through this. And this all gives me an opportunity to pitch. யாராவது என்கிட்ட 30 minutes உங்கள் கம்பெனி என்ன சொன்னால் 30 seconds சொன்னால் என்னால் சொல்ல முடியும். 1 minute சொன்னால் சொல்ல. இட் இஸ் அ ப்ராக்டிஸ். நீங்கள் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தீங்க வச்சிங்களேன், then it will become perfect. ஸோ அந்த பிச்சில் போயிட்டு பண்ணுறப்ப என்னென்னா more than me or anything, I find it is the pride of country. நம்ம தேசத்தோட மானத்தை காப்பாற்றணும், நம்ம தேசத்தோட கொடியை மேலே வைக்கணும். So luckily in yesterday's conference, I travelled on 13th, 14th was the conference. It is going on yesterday, it is going on today. But thanks to AVIS and his forced invite, I had to cut that and told their organizers that I had to go back to India. Was something better than me. Addressing to my own people, my own brethren, makes more sense than.
That's how I sold it to him. But I want to tell you what he has given up to be here today. He has given up an invitation from the palace in London, from the royal palace in London, to have a dinner with the royal family and with the people who belong to that fraternity. He has given that up to be with us this evening. So I am very, very grateful to you, Chandra, for this. I am going to hand it over to Venkat, but I will just do a quick wrap. I think sitting with him, I asked him, are you this, are you this, are you this, are you this, are you this? I think the biggest quality he has the humility to be a student. He is willing to learn, and he is willing to learn continuously, and learning is therefore a process of unlearning. So you unlearn, and he's got the humility to accept that he is not a businessman yet, though he is an innovator par excellence according to me. But a businessman requires a lot more perspective, and the student in him is allowing him to learn that much more. So fantastic. I want to just engage the audience in a question which will lead me to my closing remark. So the question is, Sare Jahan Se Acha, Sare Jahan Se Acha, who wrote this? Who? I heard Iqbal. Yeah, fantastic. What's your name, sir, at the back? Narayanan. Please, thank you. Varadarajan, thank you. So Iqbal, Muhammad Iqbal or Allama Iqbal wrote Sare Jahan Se Acha. Look at the irony. A Pakistani poet who was at that time residing in India, but he was, later on moved to Pakistan, and actually was the idea behind the concept of Pakistan. Okay, he moved the idea of Pakistan with Jinnah. He wrote Sare Jahan Se Acha. But the reason why I am quoting Iqbal is in the context of my favorite word, purpose, again, and to wrap up this beautiful conversation with Chandra. So Muhammad Iqbal, Allama Iqbal also wrote these two lines. He said, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. Okay, so I'm glad so many of you understood it, so I will not repeat it, because if I okay, I will give you the English meaning of it. I'll give you the English meaning of it. It means that do such great unputdownable work Okay? This is not the direct translation, but this is what it means. Do such unputdownable, unignorable work that before your next destiny is cast, the Creator will pause and ask you, what do you want to be born as? And I think that sums up the conversation with Chandra. It is the most humbling conversation I have had. We think we have achieved a lot in life, but here is a man who's forever willing to be a student. On that note, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for this edition of The Uncommon Leader. On 4th of October, we have the Uncommon Leader series with Aisha Rao, and through that, hopefully, we start a 3-month series with very interesting ladies joining us in the conversation. Over to Venkat for the summary and the closing remarks.
Good evening. For those of you who have not seen me before, I am Group Captain Venkat Raman. I am General Manager MMA, joined recently. So what we have seen today is a fantastic expression of meaning to life and purpose to life, as AVIS has brought it out. And we are rushing to home, and we need to go home. I'll not take much of your time, except to tell you, often we wonder when people tell us, big companies tell us that we don't have budgets for R&D. And you know what happens? These big, huge budgets of thousands of crores, they come out with fancy stuff, and we all go to the market and buy that. And here is one person who's sitting in front of us, who's doing his own R&D in a way that he is actually helping out the common man who doesn't even know what is there lying in that fancy store for him. So he is a person who brought out this, from feeding bottle to a breath, whatever, that oxygen generator, to a toilet, common man's toilet and things like that. So I'm truly impressed, and I'm sure all of you share my view here, that we've seen one person, a social entrepreneur, that's what he calls him, but I think he's made difference to thousands of lives. And we are indeed glad that you could come back and share your thoughts with us today, sir, and excusing yourself from the Queen of London today. And Mr. AVIS is always great, bringing out the best of people here, and also bringing the best people here. So thank you, sir, for this lovely thing. Now all that remains is request AVIS to hand over this token of love from our side, from the MMA, a memento.
Thank you. Chandra, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you.
I should thank my friends, schoolmate friends. Again, I hate to see WhatsApp, Facebook அதெல்லாம். அப்புறம் இந்த நிறைய சின்ன பசங்களாம் சொல்லிக் கொடுத்தாங்க, சார் நீங்கள் சோஷியல் மீடியாவில் போனால் தான் சார் நிறைய உங்கள் பற்றி வர கம்பெனியில் பற்றி வரும்னு சொல்லிட்டு. நான் வாட்ஸ்அப்பே பார்க்க மாட்டேன். என்னோடய ஸ்கூல்மேட்ஸ்லாம் வந்து ஜாயின் பேக் இன் மை லைஃப். ஐ டோல்ட் ராஜகோபால் கிரேட் சப்போர்ட் ஃபார் மீ. மை ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கலாவதி, சௌமியா, நட்டா, லாட் ஆஃப் பீப்புள் ஹவ் கம். அவங்கெல்லாம் அந்த வாட்ஸ்அப் மூலமாக எனக்கு கிடச்சாங்க. அப்புறம் என்னோடய FI ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸு. ஸோ அன்பிற்கும் உண்டோ அடைக்கும் தாள் சொன்னீங்களா, அது ஐ என்ஜாய் இட் எவ்ரி டே பிகாஸ் ஐ ஜஸ்ட் புட் அ வேர்டு. இந்த வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் சும்மா தட்டி விட வேண்டியது. ஆனால் அதையும் இப்போ அவங்களுக்கும் பல வேலை இருக்குது. தே ஆல் ஆர் ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் தெம்செல்ஸ், தேர் ஆல் இன்னோவேட்டர்ஸ் தெம்செல்ஸ் இன் தேர் ஓன் மெரிட். இதை மாதிரி 1000 கதைங்க ஒவ்வொருத்தக்கிட்டே இருக்குது. அவங்கெல்லாம் வந்து அதெல்லாம் மீறி எனக்கு வந்ததுக்காக ரொம்ப நன்றி. அண்டு சாய் ஆஸ் அ குட் ஃப்ரெண்ட், வெனவர் ஹி கோஸ் ஃபார் ஜாகிங், அந்த கோட்டுப்புறம் தாண்டி போகிறப்ப இந்த சந்திரான்னு ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான்னு சொல்லிட்டு எட்டி பார்த்துட்டு போவார். Thanks for all the friends who have come here in this opportunity. I want to thank each one of them. Ram Prasad is there. Ellarme family people and are all busy in their own stuff. Thanks for all of you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Reach home safe. Good night.